Hey yappers, welcome back to Binge Yap Repeat. Today, Ruchi and I are yapping all about season 4 of The Ultimatum. We yap about the two couples that never even made it to the trial marriages, the mature trial marriages of Casey, Luke, Monica, and David, and of course, the absolute chaos and carnage that was Ashley, Blake, Haley, and Killian's trial marriages. Buckle in because our episode starts now.
Hello, yappers, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Binge Yap Repeat. I'm your host, Ruchi.
And I'm Shalini.
And this episode is all about The Ultimatum Season 4, Marry or Move On. I'm going to read some of the Wikipedia description because I laughed. Okay, The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On is a dating reality show hosted by Nick and Vanessa Lachey on Netflix. Season 4 of The Ultimatum premiered July 15th, 2026. The show is a self-proclaimed social experiment where we have 6 couples on the verge of getting married, and in season 4, it takes place in Las Vegas. If you're unfamiliar with the premise, each couple has one person who is ready to get married, and the other person has some reservations. Each couple then has 8 weeks to decide whether they want to get married or split forever. And what helps them make this decision is they go on speed dating type style round robin dating where they pick a new partner from one of the other couples that is there, and they go on a 3-week trial marriage with this new partner, and then they go on a 3-week trial marriage with their original partner. And then at the end of this 8-week period, the original couples then decide if they want to stay together or end the relationship.
The Lacheys really love to come up with self-proclaimed social experiments.
To be honest, I think Love is Blind, I think the premise is a little less paper thin than this one.
Yes. I actually don't think the premise of this one is paper thin. I actually think I think it's kind of like, what was that other show we watched? Temptation Island. I think similar to that show, I think this show, anyone that goes on this show should not be together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the words of Pam Beesly from The Office, I don't know any happy couples that have started their relationship with an ultimatum. Do you?
So wise, Pam.
Pam Beesly. Well, okay, let's get started then.
All right.
So we've got 6 couples. We've got to start the show.
That's right.
We've got Blake, age 26, issuing the ultimatum to Haley, age 23, who have been dating for 1.5 years. This is it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my God. We can get into that one.
Yeah, we have Casey, who is 34, issuing the ultimatum to David, who is 33, and they've been dating for 5 years. We have Monica, age 28, and who is getting the ultimatum by Luke, age 30, dating for 4.5 years. We have Ashley, age 26, who is issuing the ultimatum to her boyfriend, Killian, age 29, dated for 4 years. And our last 2 couples, Jessica Grace, age 35, issuing the ultimatum to her boyfriend, Idris, age 38, dating for 2 years. And Alex, age 23, issuing the ultimatum to her boyfriend, Jevin, age 23, dating for 6 years.
Jevin.
So, yappers, the reason we laughed is because by the time the dating period ends, 2 couples have already exited the show. Let's start with the easier one. Let's start with Jessica Grace and Idris. So their core conflict, look at my notes. Their core conflict is
it was that he felt that she flirted with dudes all the time.
Yes.
And he felt threatened by it, and he communicated that to her, but she didn't change her behavior.
Yes. I think that was part of it. And then Jessica Grace really wanted to get married because she felt like that was nothing. It was just like a friendly conversation, like how you would interact with a waiter or like your checkout person at the grocery store. Those are like very safe interactions. And she wants to get married ASAP because timing is of the essence. And she feels like her dad's health is deteriorating. And so she wants to, get the family planning up and running as fast as possible.
I loved her line that was like, if there are no planes in the sky and there's no wind, you can hear my biological clock ticking. That was so funny.
So poetic. She was great. I really enjoyed Jessica Grace. I think Idris definitely got the awkward space cadet edit.
The energy of a paperweight, I would say.
Yeah. But I did like how he was sober for like how many years now. So I liked how they kind of showed that. And Jessica Grace and Idris leave the show during the end of the dating period. They're all like selecting their trial marriage partners. Idris decides to Idris decides
Propose.
to propose to Jessica Grace, what Jessica Grace has been asking for. JG has been asking for the whole time.
I thought it was really funny how Idris explained that he might look stoned, but he's not because he's sober. And I was like, thank you for answering the question on everyone's mind. Cause bro, like what is going through your brain? When they were going through their dating period and he called over Haley, I think, and then they were just sitting in a booth and he was staring at her saying nothing. And she was like, why did you call me over? And he was like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to look at you. And she was like, you couldn't look at me from far away? I was like, this dude's so awkward. But you know what? I trust JG that if she wants him, it must be for a good reason because that woman has a very strong head on her shoulders and she must see something that the rest of us are not seeing.
Yeah. I will say I do think that the two of them together were very sweet. They never had any super high drama moments. And during that cocktail party the night before everyone was going to select their trial marriage partners, she was just like, when I think about a family, it's no one else except you. If I want to have kids, it's with you. And I thought that was really sweet. And she was like, give me a kiss, a real one.
I liked her and I thought that was sweet, but also she's the one issuing the ultimatum. Like on his side, I just got nothing. Like
Yeah.
I didn't see any sweetness from him really. Like the proposal, he said 4 words.
Yeah.
Will you marry me?
Okay, a little bit on the proposal. I looked it up later. So apparently the edit that they did, it kind of shows Luke talking about how JG is all great and amazing and wonderful, and it looks like Luke is about to select JG as his trial marriage partner. And then at the end, Idris comes in, or Idris just like walks out, gets the ring, and then proposes to JG on the spot. So apparently those two things happened like 2 hours apart. Like it wasn't a whole, oh, I'm going to interrupt Luke because he's just about to choose JG as his trial marriage partner. So those two things did happen really far apart.
Mhm.
And I think if you can, I don't know, with all reality shows, editing is so important and like just changes their narrative so drastically. So I do think they intentionally chose moments where he was saying completely out of pocket stuff. And like there is a way that you can do that and be endearing versus
Giving
a
us
space
nothing.
cadet alien.
Okay, so you think he has more personality than what they showed?
I think so. Yeah. He kind of reminded me of some people that we interacted with in college. Just like not completely there, but still like genuinely nice people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he's very nice. I was just like, I don't know if I could marry a robot, you know? Like, there's nothing there. Like, give me something. Say something. I don't know.
Mm,
I think I need a thought partner, and he was not giving thought partner.
that's fair. That's fair. But then again, maybe
The
all of his
edit.
thoughts were just edited out.
Yeah, maybe. I guess we should see what he's like on social media.
He definitely still has a far away look, but he strings sentences together. So it's not like,
Got it.
yeah. I do think he got unfortunate at it.
Okay, there's evidence of life behind those eyes.
Yeah. I think he got a bad at it. But anyway,
Okay.
they leave the show, they're engaged, and yeah, prediction for the reunion for JG and Idris.
I think they'll get married. They
Okay.
seemed like by far the most mature ones out of anyone here. Yeah.
I think so too. I think they may even be married by the reunion. We'll see.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I hope they're together still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on JG and Idris before we close the chapter on them?
Mm, I think I remember one conversation between Jessica and Luke during the dating period. I'm trying to remember what it was about, but she was just the words she was saying were just so wise and beautiful. I was like, wow, this woman is so wise. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Okay, I think what I was thinking of was when she says, one thing that this whole experience is challenging is how much do I love myself with someone new versus with my original partner, and just using that as kind of a litmus test of is this the right partner for me? Because I
Yeah.
think that's so underrated, and I feel like that's something that at least I, and maybe other women also feel this way, like, didn't really think about until at least my late 20s, where, like, I never really thought about how my partner made me feel. It was just, do I wanna be with them? But, like, how I felt around them wasn't really a factor. So I just love that she captured that so perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. I think whoever you are with, even if it's not a romantic relationship, like your friends influence you, your parents influence you, every relationship that you have brings out a certain side of you. And if you like that side or not is kind of telling to that relationship with that person.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Oh.
wishing you the best of luck, Idris and JG. We'll see if they're engaged, still engaged, maybe married, hopefully still together at the reunion. Oh, yeah. And the reunion is next Wednesday, July 22nd.
Okay. This Wednesday, because this episode comes out
This
Monday.
Wednesday in 2 days. Okay. The next couple that does not make it to the trial marriage stage, Alex and Jebin, both dating, both 23 years old, dating for 6 years. So basically, high school relationship all the way to age 23. The problem here, Alex has issued the ultimatum to Jebin. The problem here is that Alex feels that she is not really accepted by Jebin's what seems to be a stereotypically Indian family, and Jebin is a man child.
Very well summarized.
Thank you.
Jebin is possibly the most hateable reality TV person I've ever seen. That includes Shake from Love is Blind Season 2. That includes Shane from
Oh,
Love is
Shake's
Blind
pretty
Season
bad.
2. Yeah, and Shake is pretty bad. I hate Jebin more. For
Wow.
sure.
I feel like Shake and Jebin are the same person.
Yeah.
I think
Also, yeah.
when Shake was 23, he probably was Jebin.
Very possible.
it's it's hard to hate the same person different.
They are the same. Okay, let's list the things that we hate about Jevin. No, just kidding.
Oh my god, let's go back and forth and discuss.
30 seconds, back and forth, go. No, well, I will say his stupid laugh really fucking annoyed me. It wouldn't have annoyed me if he was a nice person, but he was so, like, the thing he said about how his mom wakes up at 4 a.m., goes to work, comes back, makes dinner, makes sure his clothes are clean, blah, blah, blah. And so that's what he's looking for in his next relationship. He's basically just looking for a new mom.
And he
When
admitted
he,
that, and he said those words. I want
that's
a
like
new mom.
literally word for word what he said. I was like, what is wrong with you? Do you hear yourself?
Yeah, this is the problem with, unfortunately, Indian men, is just like this idea that they are the prize and they are a Raja Beta and they just
Yep.
want to have someone to take care of them after their mom can no longer take care of them. They need a wife to then take care of them.
Yeah.
And I am so sorry, Alex. On behalf of Indians, on behalf of Indians, I would just like to issue a formal apology and say that, this is the reason why I think dating Indian men is just so unappealing to a lot of Indian women out there,
Yeah.
especially Indian women who have grown up in the States and who've you know, have this idea, they have like this feminist ideals and they're like grown up with this with like the American mindset really and not the Indian mindset, which really does prioritize like having a son, like the man of the household, like kind of these like more conservative ideals. Okay. When we started recording this podcast, I was like, I need to figure out how to not like harp on Jebin too much, but I really do feel like ugh,
Yeah.
how does he not see it?
I don't think I should blame Alex, but I was just like, how has she been with him for this long? And she
Yeah,
herself admits that he's immature. And it's like, why do you want to marry him?
I think Alex probably suffers from two things. I think one, she is just really immature. Getting married at 23 is so young. Your frontal lobe is not developed yet.
Yeah,
That's
it's true.
crazy. That's so young. She has so much time ahead of her. She has so much time to like figure out what kind of person she wants to be and what kind of person she wants her partner to be. And if that's Jebin in like 7 years, great. But it's not Jebin now. Um, the
But
second thing that I think Alex suffers from is probably low self-esteem. And I
mhm.
think it's probably because she has dated Jebin for so long that she probably has had extended time with his family, who's always like, you're not good enough. You're just a hairstylist. You are not good enough for Jebin. You're not a doctor, or you're not like probably not highly educated, as in like not even undergrad, but probably like beyond undergrad. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
master's, PhD. Like you have all of these things going against you, and that's why you're not a good fit for Jebin, and that's why we won't accept you. I don't know what Jebin has to bring to the table, but hearing all of that for 6 years is probably didn't do wonders for her self-esteem. And so
yeah,
that's probably why she thinks that Jebin is the prize and that that's who she should aspire to be with.
yeah. You're so right. I also think like when something seems unachievable, it makes you want it more, And so just like the fact that she wasn't accepted by his family made it like a goal for her to be. And so she just, yeah, you're totally right. I think she sees marrying him as the prize.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, what? Like, think about the prize you're getting, girl. Do you want this prize?
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
23.
I know. They're so young. I mean, that being said, we know a lot of Indian couples who did get married that young, but still
Do
not
we?
this couple. Yeah, didn't your cousin get married at like 23?
Yeah, but he was not Indian.
Oh, that's true.
The
But
man is not Indian, which I think makes a big difference. She married like a very sweet, kind, mature, gentle white guy that puts her on a pedestal. And and she is also very, very mature because her older brother is 10 years older than her. So she like basically was always with people like way, way, way older than her. So very mature herself. So I think that situation's a little bit different.
so I'm gonna flip the script a little bit because I know we hated on Jevin a lot, but he is a part of our Indian community. And so, Shalini, if you, let's say you were Jebin's older cousin and it's up to you to like get Jebin in place, what would you say to him?
Oh my God.
Okay, here's the situation. The situation is you've seen the ultimatum, you've seen him there. Next week, your parents are like, hey, Shalini, one of our friends from school, whatever, is gonna come visit. Like we're hosting them for a dinner, and they arrive at your parents' place, and Jebin is their son. So you have to be nice to him because his parents are your parents' friends.
Oh my
What do you say to
God.
him?
I think I try to avoid him as much as possible. I'm
You
really
have
not
a
the kind of
golden
person.
opportunity.
I'm really like not the kind of person to like rip someone a new one. You know, I think I just like disengage and I'm like, I want nothing to do with this person. So,
Mm. But you think he should be ripped a new one?
yes, but like, who is he gonna listen to or that'll actually get through to him? It wouldn't be a random cousin, I don't think. I think it needs to be a woman that he wants to date. That's like,
Mm,
you are a child. Like, what? Why would I, with everything that I have going for me, I have a job, I have blah, blah, like, I have so much going for me. What are you doing for me?
mm,
You're doing nothing for me. You want me to do everything for you. What are you doing for me?
mm.
I think someone needs to say that to him.
I really think there is a Bollywood movie out there somewhere that has this plot. Like a man-child who really likes this
A
woman,
boss
maybe
lady.
even, yes, maybe even an older woman, and she's like really ambitious. And she's like, why is this bug wanting to
Literal
date me,
mosquito.
buzzing around me?
Literally. Oh my god. I was thinking before both of these couples left, I was like, "Oh my god, if Jessica Grace gets paired up with Jebin, she will eat him alive."
Yes. I was thinking that too. Honestly, like during all the trial marriages, I was like, this is cute. Everyone's like leaning in, but there's two obvious outsiders to this group. It's Idris and it's Jebin. And I was like, who is Jebin gonna end up with for this trial marriage? Because he spent the majority of the cocktail party alone. I was also laughing because if he was alone, that means that there was an odd
Yes.
number out there.
Right? Like where is the odd girl out? And how is she hiding so effectively from Jebin every single time?
I know. I was like, there's an odd girl out there, or like there's like a group of three, or like maybe even a group of five that they're just hanging out without.
I thought
Oh my
about that
gosh.
too. So funny.
Oh man. Oh, Jebin.
Oh,
Okay, well, I
Jebin.
think my advice to Jebin. Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like whatever I would say, he would just wouldn't listen to me, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
try anyway.
Okay.
I would say you need to think about, I'm kind of just gonna say the same thing. Like, you need to think about what you bring to the table. And if you want someone to take care of you, you need to think about how you take care of them. A
Yeah.
relationship is a two-way street. I think that's what I would say to them. A
Nice.
relationship is a two-way street, and it's not always 50-50, but it's never 0-100.
Oh God. All right. Can we stop talking about him now?
Let's stop talking about. Oh wait, let me see.
Excellent.
Let's stop talking about Jebin. But I did have a question. I think what was a little bit unfair is that so Alex and Jebin are kicked out from the show because Jebin passes Alex this
Oh
super
yeah.
toxic note
Ew, that was
that's
so
like,
horrible.
you ruined this, Alex. Like, you were the one who destroyed our relationship, and it's all your fault. And how dare you do this to us? And then claims that he wasn't attacking her character or whatever, but that's so toxic. So he gets kicked out. But unfortunately, because there's an odd number, Alex is asked to leave as well. So my question is, Shalini, how would you change the show's premise so that Jebin leaves but Alex can stay?
Such a good question. Well, like a throuple? Someone's in a throuple? She joins Killian and Haley? Just the two most hot-headed people in the show. She just joins them. Um, Let me think. Maybe they have some backup men just on standby.
Yeah, or they
Yeah,
could do like a half trial, like trial marriage halftime. Like
yeah,
Alex can do
yeah.
3 days of the trial marriage, or was it 3 weeks? Alex does 1.5 weeks of a trial marriage with someone.
Yeah.
Maybe something like
Yeah,
that.
maybe that could work. But then the other people's experience is also kind of affected.
Okay, another solution. A hot new bombshell enters the
Enters
villa.
the villa. Yes.
And Alex
Yes.
gets
Yes.
them.
Men on standby. Yes.
And then she doesn't do the other child marriage with Jevin. She just does the child marriage.
And then her next 3 weeks are spent alone in peace, reflecting on why she wants to marry Jevin and how
Yeah.
she actually should not want to marry Jevin.
Correct. And
Okay,
that's
I
how I
love
would
this for
change it.
her.
Um,
Oh, I was gonna say one more thing. It was crazy, and I think also showed her immaturity when they were at that like lounge club thing that night, and she was talking to Killian, and then she calls Jebin over and she's like, "I'm falling for someone." And he's like,
hmm,
"What the fuck?" If I
hmm.
was him in that situation, I would also be like, "What the fuck? You've known this person for like 2 days. How are you falling for someone?"
But like that's what he said in his note, right? That he was like, "You ruined it. You said you were falling for this person. How dare you?"
I mean, I thought that I mean, he shouldn't have written this in a note. Like, he should have just said this out loud to her. But like, I thought
Yeah.
that part was fair. It's like, how are you saying you're falling for someone in 2 days when you're the one that issued me the ultimatum? Like,
Yeah.
didn't you want to marry me? How are you so easily falling for someone in a day?
That's very true. That's a fair point. I
Yeah.
hate that it's a fair point, but it is a
Yeah.
fair point. Yeah, I just think Alex and Jebin, they're so young. They're too young for this show. They need to wait 2 years for their frontal lobes to develop and for aging to start. and then they can think about what marriage
Yes.
actually means to them.
I think Jebin needs to move out of his mom's house, live by
Yes.
himself, learn how to do his own laundry and prepare his own food, keep
Yeah.
a clean apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. Needs to move out for sure. Oh my gosh. Poor mom. His poor mom. Waking
But
up at
also
4 a.m.
she was part of the
Enables
problem.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She does enable it.
So, I mean, I would not want her for a mother-in-law, and so it's hard for me to feel bad for her because like she created this monster.
She did. I guess like this is where I do feel empathy because this is the system that people were raised in,
Yeah.
right? So you can't fault them for being subject to the system. And now they've like moved to the States where that was not the system. And so you're like, oh, how can you like act this way and raise kids this way, even though like that's how kids were raised for generations. So it is
That's
difficult.
fair.
And as someone who does have Indian parents, my mom and I talk about this all the time. It is a different world. So try to have grace. But most
All
importantly,
right.
communication is key.
Fine. Oh boy.
Before we move on to the other couples, what are your predictions for Alex and Jebin at the reunion?
Oh my God, this is absolutely wishful thinking, but I hope / predict that they are broken up. I hope that Alex has seen the light and is ready to move on from this child.
God, I hope so too. I really, really hope that they're broken up by the reunion. I really hope Alex has taken the time to self-reflect. Honestly, I hope that she's not dating anyone new, or if maybe she is dating someone new who actually has helped her kind of see the light a little bit on Jebin.
Yeah.
But yes, I hope they are broken up. We'll find out.
Godspeed, Alex.
All right, moving on to our new pods. Sorry, moving on to the other 4 couples left in this social experiment.
Self-proclaimed social experiment. I love that Wikipedia included self-proclaimed. Like they really, that's such a dig at Nick and Vanessa Lachey.
Oh man. Okay, let's close the chapter on the 2 couples who were even part of the trial marriages and move on to the other 4. Okay, so for the trial marriages, we kind of have like a wife swap situation where we have one pod, I'm gonna name them pod number 1, with Monica, David, Casey, and Luke. And then we have pod number 2 with Haley, Killian, Ashley, and Blake.
Also
So,
ranked in terms of maturity.
oh, there you go. Okay, so let's talk about pod number one, Monica, David, Casey, Luke. So just as a reminder, Monica is age 28, getting the ultimatum from Luke, age 30, dating for 4.5 years. And then Casey, age 34, issuing the ultimatum to David, 33, dating for 5 years. Shalini, please summarize Casey and David's core conflict.
So their core conflict is it sounds like he had a pretty rough childhood, did not really have very good examples of a healthy romantic relationship. And so A, he finds it quite hard to open up and be vulnerable in a relationship, and B, he's very pessimistic about the idea of marriage. And Casey is 34, she's not getting any younger. She's like, "Bro, are we doing this or not?" And so I really like both of them, honestly. I started out not really liking David, but he really, really grew on me. Um, I think what this couple demonstrates that I fear on the other side for Blake and Haley in this way is that I think they're doing a really good job of breaking out from a dynamic that they set themselves in 5 years ago, or what? How long have they been dating? 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
Yeah. They're like very effectively starting to break down those barriers and rebuild together. Whereas I just think in general it is so hard once you've set a precedent in a relationship, let alone for years, to break out of it and find a new dynamic. And so I'm very impressed with how they've handled both their trial marriages and coming back together. And I have a lot of hope for them. I think it always makes me nervous when the woman is issuing an ultimatum to a man versus the other way around.
Hmm.
Because I just think like how society is, it's it's dangerous, and I think forms a dangerous power imbalance when the woman wants it more than the man does. Um, and I think that's just the unfortunate reality of our society right now. And so I am nervous for them, but I have a lot of faith in David. I think the fact that he plays overseas basketball but is still so committed to Casey is really impressive and really nice. And he clearly has a lot of love for her. And the fact that when she was going away with Luke for the trial marriage, he was like, take care of her. Like he's a very thoughtful guy. So yeah, I have hope. How do you feel
Yeah,
about them?
I totally agree. I think you said it right. They seem like the most normal couple out of everyone. And I agree. I think David struck me as a little bit conservative at first, but then hearing more of his background, I was like, oh, okay. I think it actually makes a little bit of sense, like why
Yeah.
he thinks the way that he thinks or like why he has certain ideals. Um, I think there was one conversation with Monica where I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. But then the way he explained it was actually, I was like, okay, that's actually a fair point. So there was a conversation where David is talking to Monica during their trial marriage, and David says like, "Oh, do you have any friends of the opposite sex?" And then Monica's like, "Yeah, I have this guy who I've been friends with since middle school and for like 20 years, and we've been super close friends." And then she was like, "Wait, would you not want me to be friends with him if we were to actually date?" And then David's like, yeah, that's super weird that you have friends of the opposite sex. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I mean, like, I would go with you to his house or whatever, but like, I would not, like, you would not like stay there. I would not, that doesn't seem right. And that would really bother me. And she's like, what? That's crazy, but he's my friend. Like, if anything were to have happened, like, it would have happened. We've been friends for 20 years. And then he was like, yeah, no, it bothers me. And then I think, obviously, as a woman, you're just like, that's controlling behavior. That's super manipulative. But then from David's perspective, he explains it and he's like, I don't understand. Like I said, it bothers me. And so, like, if something bothers me, then I would ask, then it makes sense for my partner to respect my wishes and to not do it. And I would do the same if she said that something bothered her, then I would not do it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I really liked Monica's response to that, which was, well, I think it's more about the root of the issue, which is why does this bother you? Like,
yeah,
because that implies that you don't trust me. And then he was like, well, I trust, or you don't trust your partner. And he was like, well, I trust my partner. I just don't trust the other people. But I don't like that explanation either, because that still implies that there's some level of mistrust, right? Like, even if guys are like all over your girl, you should trust her not to engage with it and
yeah.
to reject
Takes two
it.
to tango.
Exactly, exactly. Unless you literally think he's gonna sexually assault her,
Yeah.
like what are you worried about? So, I mean, I understand that I think there are a lot of people that feel this way. Um, and so like I think it's just a reality of heterosexual relationships sometimes, but I am totally on Monica's side and I would not want to be with someone who had issues with me having male friends.
Do you believe that men and women can be friends?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
I think of my male friends as like brothers, you know?
Yeah, I do too. And actually, I think there's a study that shows that in countries that are actually more, I guess, patriarchal, there are way fewer opposite sex friendships than in countries where it's like maybe less, I don't know if patriarchal is the right word, but
Mm.
maybe like I think you know what I mean, like less
Yeah, yeah,
less
totally.
conservative, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, so in fact, it's like the more that you are friends with the opposite sex, the more perspectives that you
progressive.
see. Like any
Yeah.
type of relationship, like any type of community, the more diverse it is, the more your eyes are open to different perspectives, and it helps you see the other view a little bit more.
Exactly.
So,
And building on to that, I think I would pick a man who has female friends any day over a man that has no female friends, cuz like I think it's so important for men to have platonic relationships with women before they date someone.
yeah,
And I
I
think
totally
that
agree.
it grows their respect for women and empathy and like, yeah. I would not want to date someone that had 0 female friends.
Yeah, I think that's more of a red flag because it's like, wait, have you like never met a woman before?
Literally, like it's giving Jebin, honestly.
Uh,
The way women strategically avoided him. I'm sorry. Okay, we get sorry. I'll stop talking about Jebin.
I was actually gonna start talking about the Korean dating reality show. Well,
Oh,
I'll save it for the binge in progress.
okay.
Yappers, this is our segment where we talk about shows that are outside of the show that we just recapped. But yes, I'll save it for that. Okay, anything more on David and Casey?
um oh, okay, I guess this is kind of bleeding into Luke and Monica a little bit, but you know when okay, I think it's really interesting how Monica helped break down David's walls and Casey couldn't.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, what's
and
your theory on that? I have one.
I mean, I think my theory or what I think happened is that Monica just showed up with a little bit more empathy and created a space where David felt safe enough to share versus I think with Casey, I'm sure there's so much history and like if he does try to be vulnerable, you know, about the student loan stuff and she just kind of like harped on him immediately after that and stuff like that just made him close up for a long time and so having someone fresh to like open his perspective and create a safe space for him was huge. What's your theory?
I guess like going to respond to what you just said. I did think that there is a difference in dynamic with David and Monica versus David and Casey. I think with David and Monica, you kind of touched on this earlier, where Monica was always asking, oh, but why do you think that way?
Mm.
Or what makes you have that perception versus this? And he would always be like, oh, let me self reflect. Like, let me think about
Yeah.
why that actually is the case. And then by the end of their trial marriage, he actually started doing it to Monica too, where he was like, oh,
Mm.
why do you think that way? And Monica was like, I've never self reflected on that before. And then she starts thinking about why she feels the way that she feels. So I love that they were kind of doing that to each other and they were both able to grow from that trial marriage in
Yeah.
similar ways. But I did notice that when David started his trial marriage with his original partner, Casey, um, David said something. I forget what he said, but David said something, and then Casey like immediately took it defensively or took it personally, where he was like, "Oh yeah, like well, this is the way that this is," and she was like, "Well, it can't always be that way because blah blah blah," and then it was just like, "Oh, this is the difference in
Yeah.
response," which is why David felt like he was more able to open up and express himself because he wasn't met with like a personal like, "Oh, why do you like you think that way because I did something wrong?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I also think it's really interesting that we heard so many times from Casey that this is who I am. I'm such a nice person. I'm such a good person. And so, not that she's not a good person, because I do think she's a really nice person, but I think that narrative kind of closes her mind to how she can improve herself.
Mm.
And and so I hope, and I think we're starting to see that in their trial marriage. I hope she takes that opportunity to reflect and not just be threatened by Monica, but be like, "Wow, there's actually something I can change here that will improve my relationship." And so, yeah, I hope she takes that away from it and not just her insecurity about the situation.
Yeah. My other theory is that, well, maybe in addition to what I just
Yeah.
said, um, so David said that his parents were divorced, they remarried, they divorced like a bunch of times, and then he doesn't want that to happen when he gets married. Like he really wants a stable life, and he wants to kind of prove to himself that that's what he wants and he can sustain that, but he feels like his past is kind of holding him back, and he kind of
Mm,
feels like, I just feel like this thing about divorce and remarriage is going to happen to me no matter what. And I
mm.
do think what changed his perception is meeting Monica's dad, who came from a very
Yeah.
similar background, who was like, that happened to me too. That's very similar to how I was raised. And look at me now. I've been married to Monica's mom for 35 years, and we have raised a wonderful daughter, as you can see yourself. So don't feel like your past holds you back. Like you can change your narrative if you really want it to. And I thought that was
Yeah.
really important for David to hear. And that's not something Casey could have given him.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. I was really impressed with David and Monica's trial marriage, honestly. Like, I think it was so successful, and both of them were still so respectful to their original partners, and they really learned so much, and yeah, it was so
Yeah.
sweet. It was so sweet.
Yeah. It was really sweet. Um, okay. Predictions for David and Casey for the reunion.
Hmm.
And I guess for engagement. Can do both.
Yeah. I think I don't know if I see them getting married, to be honest. I think, like, there's just too much history there, and, like, David's
Mm,
on the brink of a personal breakthrough, and I think Casey might hold him back from that, unfortunately, and I also
mm,
don't think it's right for Casey to pine for someone for so long, and she's 34, like, I don't like the power dynamic it's setting up in her mind, and I don't like that he's being held back and, like, his emotional barriers are going back up, so I don't know if I want them to be together. I'm gonna predict they're not together.
okay. Do you predict that they will be engaged, though, in the final?
Mm,
Okay. Not engaged and not together in the reunion.
correct.
Okay. What's my prediction? I said breakup as well. I actually do want them. I feel like it might be they get engaged, but then by the reunion, they have broken up.
Okay,
That's my
okay.
prediction.
Like, the hype of the show has kinda gotten to them. They're like, "Yeah, let's do this."
Yeah.
Mm,
I really want them to succeed though. I understand your point. I feel like David, it feels, has made leaps and bounds in the way that he approaches his emotions. A growth in himself that is probably not replicated on Casey's side. It doesn't feel like Casey has grown as much. And it feels like Casey just has these expectations and these roles that they're just filling, and she just wants to get through to the next phase,
yes.
without really thinking about what it means.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean,
We'll
I think
see.
they will get engaged. I
Okay.
think there's a solid chance they will be married.
God help them. Just kidding. I really like both of them.
I like both of them, yeah. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Um, okay, moving on to Monica and Luke, the second wife swap couple in pod one. Okay, so Monica and Luke, they met when they were 14 years old. Do you want to summarize their core conflict?
Yeah, let me know if you agree with this as the core conflict. So, Luke is the one that issued the ultimatum. He has been head over heels obsessed, self-proclaimed obsessed with Monica like for decades now. And Monica has some reservations because she, it seems, really wants a partner in life, but she feels like Luke just kind of idolizes her and doesn't really step up to the plate in ways that she needs, like true support versus him just being like, no, you're Monica, you got this. When like she really needs like help and support sometimes. And she just wants him to not, I think she just wants someone that doesn't idolize her as much and like just is a partner living his own life and like they're stronger together than apart. And that's not really what Luke is.
Yeah. I love Luke so much.
Me
He
too.
seems like such a cutie pie.
Such a
So
heart of gold.
happy-go-lucky. Yeah, I thought that Luke and Casey's trial marriage relationship was so wholesome and so boring.
Correct. They're just two very nice people.
Yes. Yes, two very nice people who just like hung out with each other for 3
Yeah.
weeks.
At first I was like, "Oh, this will show both of them that like they should be with someone who's nice like them." But then by the end I was like, they need their partners. They need their original partners. And I thought it was really interesting how during the boys' night, Luke was saying that he needs someone that will push him because he naturally goes into complacency,
Hmm.
and with Monica, like she really does push him to be better, but with Casey, like she will not intervene.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, obviously it's not Casey's place, this like random stranger to push him, but I thought that was interesting that he really felt that. And I was like, "Whoa, yeah, he does need a Monica." And maybe if he can just figure out what Monica needs. I have out of all of the couples we've seen, I have the most hope for Luke and Monica, I think.
Oh, I think I do too. I think Casey and Luke's relationship kind of worked in an interesting way where I feel like yes, Luke was complacent and especially compared to Monica, but compared to Casey, he was not complacent.
Oh my gosh, when he said that, at first I thought he was saying that Casey is so complacent and like she won't do anything in the sense that she's just waiting around for people to do things for her because she's just like content. But then I realized that's not what he meant.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think it does kind of apply. I feel
A
like,
little bit.
which is kind of maybe that is what he needed in a different way, right? He was like,
Yeah.
oh, like maybe this is how Monica feels about me, like when I'm just like hanging out on the couch all day, or like when I'm not prioritizing my firefighter exams or whatever milestone he was shooting for. And so
Yeah.
maybe that relationship did work, and because they were nice to each other, yes, but they were also very complacent or like very boring together. And then Luke was like, oh, I don't like this either.
Yeah. Um so my Jing Chen and I, so like we were like best friends in Seattle, right? And we were basically each other's like only person for a while. And so we like talked a lot about like if one of us was a man, we would probably be married already, that kind of thing. But then at one point we were like, actually, I don't know if we should get married because I think we would just enable each other too much. And like both of us would just eat candy all the time and like, like no one would be there pushing us to be better, be like, just, yeah, we would just, like, let each other be each other's most complacent, lazy, happy selves.
Is that so wrong?
I don't know. I think I need someone that pushes me. I think I would be happier with someone that pushed me a little.
You need some percentage of challenge.
Yeah.
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 There is there's one comment that happened in the show between, I think it was Luke telling this to Casey. But Luke was saying that, oh, Monica and I have this thing that if either of us let each other go, we would get the ick for each other. Please discuss.
Oh my God. That was crazy. I forgot about that comment. So I think if I was Casey, I would have been like, well, how did that make you feel as someone who entered this relationship self-proclaimed overweight? Because
Exactly.
he had literally just said that when I started dating Monica, I was overweight and she like whipped me into shape, basically. Right? And so I was like, how does that make you feel, Luke, that her love for you depends on your pant size?
Yeah,
That's insane. And he agrees? He agrees if Monica let herself go, he wouldn't love her anymore? What
I
happened to the
know.
pedestal? Pedestal only holds 120 pounds of weight? What?
It's very rickety. Does not have a solid base. Timu
Yeah.
pedestal.
Timo. Is pedestal bought on Timo?
Yeah, I agree. I think when he said that and then he like kind of laughed at it, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I think Casey was also like, what?
Yeah, exactly. But then I think she did reply in a very mature manner, which she was saying that like, yeah, I was super fit when I entered this relationship with David, and then I feel like I kind of let myself go, but it doesn't matter because we still love each other. And so, yeah, I think there's a little bit of wiggle room. I feel like if you're in a really happy relationship and you don't feel the need to go to the gym every day and you do let yourself go a little bit, I do feel like, there's a difference between letting yourself go and becoming slightly chubbier than
Yeah,
like your 20-year-old
absolutely.
self, you know?
Absolutely. And like, I I guess because Monica is a personal trainer, right? She's like a fitness trainer.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
I feel like if she probably puts a lot of her self-worth on her body and her fitness level. And so I can see why that is a part of her self-narrative of like, well, I would also be unworthy of love if I lost this part of myself. But I don't know, it's just such a hard, I don't know. How is that unconditional love?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, oh, maybe because they're like really young, but they're not
They're not
super
that young.
young. Yeah,
Yeah.
Monica's 28 and Luke is 30. So I don't know. I also was just like, how does this work with the idea of marriage, which is over the course of 40, 50 years, you're not
Totally.
going to be the 20-year-old spring chicken that you are now. How's it gonna work when you
Absolutely.
all like get wrinkles or like God forbid you go through like severe health crises and then you have to support one each other.
Yeah, or Monica goes through pregnancy and gains some weight during pregnancy. What
Yeah.
happens then? Oh,
Yeah. I don't know. I hope that maybe this is a trick of editing and maybe this is like something in the past that they laughed about, but it's like no longer the case now.
I hope so.
I hope so, because that doesn't seem like a very sustainable relationship if you have to be in peak physical fitness for
Yeah.
50 years.
Mm.
Okay. One last thing before we move on from this pod. Oh, actually, yeah, wait. Predictions for Monica and Luke. Wait, sorry.
I
You
think
can start. You can edit all of that part out. Okay, let me just say it again. Okay, what are your predictions for Monica and Luke?
I think they will get married. I think they'll get engaged at the end of this and they will get married. And I
I think
think,
so too.
yeah, I feel like we're seeing signs that Monica's ready, like talking about the wedding and stuff. And Luke, I really liked that conversation between the two of them when Monica was like, sometimes when I'm looking for support. I need you to, like, not just say, "Monica, you got this," because that puts so much pressure on me and telling me I'm perfect and stuff. Like, I am not, I don't want to always be perfect. Like, sometimes I want help. And then he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea you felt that way. But you should know that, like, you're on that pedestal, whether you're perfect or not." And I was like, that is really
So
sweet.
sweet.
That is so sweet to say. But I also don't know if one person should be on the pedestal in a relationship in general. I think if someone's going to in a hetero relationship, it should be the man because I think it's unhealthy otherwise.
Wait, you think the man should be
Oh,
on the
sorry, sorry, sorry.
pedestal?
Sorry. I think he should be the one putting the woman on the pedestal.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I thought you meant. I was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
excuse me.
Sorry. Oh my God, no. Blech.
Jebin, I got you a woman right here.
Kill me. No, yeah. I think if anyone is on a pedestal in a hetero relationship, it should be the woman.
There we go.
But in general, I don't think a power imbalance is ever good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like I understand his intention about like you're on the pedestal because I want you to be there regardless of like and it's not tied to your self-worth or to your physical fitness or to
Apparently it
anything.
is, though.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But it's there because like he wants her to be there because in his eyes she is perfect even when she is needs his
Imperfect. Yeah.
support. Um but yeah, I think that he did take the conversation the right way, where she was like, I need you to be there for me and not just tell me to support me. And he was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was pretty messed up that I did
Yeah.
that. So I'm glad that he saw the error of his ways. But it did kind of feel like if they had had that conversation 4 weeks earlier, they did not need to be on the show.
But I do think it took them being on the show for Monica to verbalize that. Like, I think being with David showed her what she needed. And, like, exactly, because I get the sense that she
Like,
was like,
why does that feel? Like, why does
yeah,
she feel
yeah,
that way? Yeah.
exactly, like, to our conversation earlier about her asking about the root of the issue, I think, like, this helped her get to the root of the issue.
Yeah.
So, I think it took her going through this experience for her to voice that, and yeah, I think both of them are so articulate and so good at explaining their emotions.
Yeah. And I think they got even better over the course of the trial
Yeah,
marriage, which is
yeah.
great. Okay. My last question about this pod. What is a word that's not a name that you would name someone?
Oh my God. I thought calorie was a good one.
Calorie, like
Yeah.
Valerie, but with a
Yeah.
C.
Yeah. Um,
Would you have one or two of them so you could count your calories?
get out. Boo. I I I it's hard to think of words. Are there any words that I just love?
Thermos.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I just said something. But sure, let's go with that. My word that could be a name is thermos.
Okay. Okay, cool. Um, I'm like naming things I see around the apartment.
Lamp.
Yeah, I was like pen, mug,
Podcast.
window, cabinet, air fryer.
All right, works for me.
Airy for short. My name is Airy, short for air.
Oh my God.
Uh...
Okay, let's move on. Our next pod of wife swap couples is Haley and Blake and Killian and Ashley. So for the trial marriage, Haley and Killian matched and Ashley and Blake matched. Let's talk
What?
about yeah, how do we even start this? Let's start with Haley and Blake first. So Blake is 26, Haley is 23. They've been dating for 1.5 years. What would you say is their core conflict?
Well, A, what are you doing issuing a girl who's 23, 3 years younger than you, an ultimatum about marriage when you've only been together for a year?
Year and a half, excuse me.
So, excuse me, year and a half?
Yeah.
Literally, what are you doing? But okay, their core conflict is it's so hard to explain. Like, where do I begin with their core conflict?
The way that it was explained at the beginning of the show is that Haley doesn't get enough emotional support from Blake.
And
That's
or vulnerability,
yeah.
which I feel like all we saw was him trying to emotionally support her and, like, lose himself in the process, and her just yell at him, and I literally don't understand. I actually don't dislike Haley that much. I just think their dynamic is so toxic, and there's no coming back from it, and they really need to break up. Like, they really need to break up.
Yeah, I think individually they're not bad. They have their
Yeah.
flaws, but together they're really, really toxic.
Like, dear God. The one thing I'll say
Yeah.
is that I really liked that he appreciated how smart she was, although the example that Killian shared was crazy.
Okay, can we talk? Okay, I'm so glad you brought this up. Let's talk. Let us clear the air. So there's a conversation. They're at the cocktail party. The guys are having their guys' night. Girls are having their girls' night. Blake is like, oh yeah, after dating Ashley for a bit, I really appreciate how Haley is at least interested with like the tariff situation going on. And then Killian's like, yeah, haha. I mean, Ashley knows things about like the reason that we had egg price inflation was because Biden killed the chickens. And it was
No, he was
crazy
saying
that
that
she knew that.
Haley said that.
Killian?
Yeah,
No,
Killian
Killian
was
said
like,
Ashley said that.
I thought he was saying Ashley doesn't know that kind of stuff, so when Haley started talking to me about that, it really surprised me because I didn't know girls were like that.
Oh, I took it that he said that. Wait, we need to watch that.
Okay, let's find it. I think this is worth getting right.
You know, I tell you something that I underappreciate about Haley. That let's just say, like in the world today, for instance, like tariff situation going on, right? Like if I were to like make a like comment about that, Haley would like be like, "Hey, okay, what's going on there?" Ashley has no clue,
No idea.
like, and that's okay. But like that's something that is kind of funny because Haley, like, she's interested, and like that's always like
It's
a conversation.
very interesting that you said that because she knew about
Yes.
why eggs were getting more expensive
Yeah.
because the chickens were killed by Biden and this and that. And I was like, that is really interesting.
I think you're right. It is
A
about
girl would know
Haley.
that type.
Whoa. Okay, I really thought he was saying that about Ashley, but no, he's saying that about Haley.
So I have a question for you. Is it worse to date someone that has no idea what's going on in the world, or to date someone that thinks Biden killed chickens? I can't even say it with a straight face.
Okay, let's just clear the air. The reason that the egg prices were so expensive is because there was a bird flu that swept the nation, and so a bunch of hens were just like dying. That's why there weren't enough eggs, and that's why the prices were high. And
Biden started the flu.
yeah, I think there was I think also there was some court case, right, where like they took the top like egg companies or whatever. There was like a federal case where they accused the egg companies of increasing the prices during this time as well, right?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but there definitely was some government involvement in the price of eggs.
Yeah, but not government involvement with the killing of
No,
chickens.
correct. And to be clear, the government involvement happened during Trump's presidency, not Biden's.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, that was wild. I was like, Biden did what?
Yeah, I was like,
Chickens
the
did
chickens
what?
are dying because what? And they were like, yeah, that's crazy that a girl would know that, yeah.
Like, that's crazy that what? Like, that's crazy. Oh, man. Yeah,
Oh
the
my God.
hypothetical that you brought up is a rock in a hard place. Honestly, probably someone who doesn't know anything.
Because then you can educate them.
Yeah. Versus like
Yeah.
getting all their news from TikTok, I guess.
TikTok, Fox News, who knows?
Yeah.
What,
Although I
what's
guess to
the...
be fair, the media companies are all heavily biased in one way or
Yeah.
another.
Yeah. There's no winning. There's no winning. But anyway, going back to Blake and Haley, I do like that he appreciates how smart she is, but my God, they are so toxic. They
Yeah.
cannot get through a single conversation without someone feeling like their character is attacked.
Yeah. You know, weirdly, I liked Monica and or what am I talking about, Monica? I liked Haley and Killian more as a couple than I liked Haley and Blake.
Oh,
Or let me
interesting.
rephrase that. I liked Haley more in the Haley and Killian relationship more than I liked Haley in the
Yes.
Haley and Blake relationship.
Oh, I so 1000% agree with you. I think when she started dating Killian, I was like, "Oh, this girl is actually so logical." Because I think at that like lounge party right before the choice, when she called over Blake and she was like, "I'm sitting here feeling so anxious and you don't even come over and say hi to me, blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh my God, this bitch is crazy." But then when she started her trial marriage with Killian, I was like, "Oh, she's actually so logical and like I love how strong she is in standing up for herself." And then she went back with Blake and then it started again and I was like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah. So, question for you. During the dating period, we actually saw Haley kind of vacillate between David and Killian and then ultimately go with Killian. How do you think the trial marriages would have been different if she had chosen David instead?
Oh my God. I I think David, unfortunately, I think it would make David appreciate Casey more than how his real trial marriage made him appreciate Casey, but I don't think he would have had the growth he had because I think Haley would do an even worse job of presenting him a space to open up, and he probably would get a much different lesson from that trial marriage than he did from his trial marriage with Monica.
I agree. I think they would have definitely grown in different ways. Um,
Yes.
but I can't imagine like if Monica and Killian were together, Monica would have yeeted out of that relationship so fast. Like week one, she would have been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she yawning.
Oh no. Oh dear God, it's 8:50.
Oh my God. Okay, so one thing that I found out is the way that Haley and Blake met. So apparently, Haley and Blake met when Haley was hired to nanny Blake's stepbrothers.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's how they met. And then sparks flew when they were having wine at their family's fire pit or something. That's how they
Hmm.
described it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was interesting. Um, but yeah, oh, wait. I just where should we talk about this? Okay. So in their first trial marriage, there was like a whole 5.5 hour conversation that went on because Ashley was texting Killian, and then Killian was showing Haley, and then Haley started texting Blake, and then they basically all started texting their partners again. And then everyone came over to Haley and Killian's apartment where they had a 5.5 hour conversation starting at 5 a.m. and going until 10:30. That's crazy to me. What is there to say?
Literally, like presumably the conversation happened over text starting the night before, right? Like that's why they
Yeah.
decided to finally go over at 5 a.m. So
Yeah.
they're like literally spending all night talking about this. It's
Yes.
insane. Yeah, literally, what is there to say?
For 5 hours. That's
Also, like,
crazy.
Killian, what did you expect? Of course Ashley's gonna try in this trial marriage. Like, what? Also, I'm so surprised that the showrunners don't disallow them from contacting their ex during the trial marriage.
Yeah, because they say don't contact, but then they also don't do anything to
Yeah,
prevent
they don't
it.
really enforce it. Like, they could have done something like how they did for Jebin and interfered and been like, hey, this is against the rules. You can't do this. Like, maybe not kick them off, but be like, you can't do this again. And if we see you contacting again, like, you're going to be off the show too.
Yeah. But maybe they do it because they think it will turn into scenes like this, which is good for TV.
It is good television, but like, I feel like it was harder to follow a storyline because I cannot tell you what they were fighting about. Like,
Yeah.
it was very confusing.
But I will say I did like how Blake handled the situation.
Yeah.
I think he was the only one at the end who was like, okay, do you agree to all block each other? Yes or no? Go.
Yes.
Yeah, like, okay, you agree. We're all going to block each other and we're going to continue these trial marriages incommunicado.
Yes. Insane. Oh my God. I'm like exhausted just thinking about this. Killian is so crazy, and I think Haley handled him really well.
I'm
And
surprised that Haley didn't leave earlier.
yeah,
Like, she
me
seemed
too.
very done with him, that he didn't even meet her aunt, but then she stayed in the trial marriage, which I was intrigued by.
Yeah, because it seems like they have the option to not be there. So
Yeah, but
it
then
is
she kept
interesting.
going.
Yeah, but then just like didn't talk to him.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm confused by that.
Yeah.
Yappers,
Yeah.
if you know, if you went on a Reddit or a TikTok deep dive, let us know, because I'm
Yeah.
curious. Okay. The other thing with Haley and Blake,
Oh
how
wait,
did you
actually
feel?
one last thing
Oh,
about the big fight. So they all agree not to contact each other. And then like immediately after that, Killian is texting Ashley again. And then Blake and Haley start
yeah,
texting again too. I'm like,
yeah,
these goddamn 20-year-olds have no boundaries.
yeah. It's kind of unfortunate,
They're
but
so immature.
how did you feel when Haley and Blake got back together? Because I think this was the point in time where I was like, oh, Haley seemed to have actually a pretty mature response to the way that Killian's friends are like talking about her in this group chat, which was insane. I was like, that is
Insane.
not, that's like a psychopathic thing to say in a group chat about
Yeah.
someone.
And her aunt was absolutely right that if they're saying that to him and if they feel comfortable saying that to him, he's just like the rest of them. So
Yeah,
even if he didn't
exactly.
explicitly say anything like that, if it's about someone else's girl, he would probably say the same thing.
Yep, exactly. So toxic.
Uh,
But yeah,
um,
I felt like Haley, I was like, oh, this is a pretty mature response to something. I'm kind of surprised that she's stuck it through to the trial marriage, but let's see what happens when she goes back to Blake. So
yeah.
then she and Blake start going about their trial marriage, and she's just like yelling at him in almost every scene.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad for Blake. Yeah, I'm not like the biggest fan of Blake either, but the fact that he was getting yelled at by Ashley and getting yelled at by Haley, I was like, kind of feel
Damn.
sorry for him.
I know. I know. It was really confusing. You know, I actually had a lot of hope for them getting back together because I thought that both of them learned from their trial marriage. Haley learned how like basically to appreciate Blake more. I thought that was the lesson
Yeah.
that she got from him, from Killian. And I thought that Blake really actually what he said I think was true was that like he definitely pushed Ashley, but he doesn't feel like Ashley pushed him to really grow. But I feel like he also kind of learned how to stick up for himself a little bit, or like his relationship with Ashley just gave him a little more self-confidence to like hold his own with Haley. So I do think he fought back a little bit more after the trial marriage than he did before. Like when they had that little fight on the couch in the lounge before the trial marriages started, he was just kind of like, I didn't know you felt that way. Oh, I'm so sorry. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. Versus in their second trial marriage together, he was kind of explaining his point of view. He would like pause and come back and explain more about his point of view. And so I don't know. I had hopes, and it's just, I think what we've seen is that they are not speaking the same language, which Blake said himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're too young to try to make this work because, look, if they were married already and they were having these issues, I would say, yeah, like go to counseling, blah, blah, blah. You guys are in your early to mid 20s. Cut and run. Try again with the next person. What are you doing?
Yeah, I have a theory. I mean, my theory around Haley kind of just like blowing up at Blake all the time is that I think she craves the chaos of constantly yelling at your partner. And Blake is
Mm,
obviously not an emotional guy, so he doesn't get riled up. And so like her method of introducing chaos into the relationship to like make it feel alive is yelling at Blake, which is
mm,
unfortunate.
yeah,
I think the second thing is that I mean, to the immaturity point, she just seemed like a petulant child when she was
yeah,
screaming at Blake. Blake was like, "Tell me what you want." Like, why is it the case that when you make breakfast for us, it's you being thoughtful, but when I make breakfast for us, it's because I'm hungry? Or like, why is it the case that you want me to list out all of the different 5 love languages and give them to you every single hour of every single day? And if I'm not doing it, it means I don't love you.
yeah,
And she
yeah,
just was like, I'm just tired of explaining it, Blake. You don't get it. You don't get it. And it's like, well, you haven't explained it once, though.
yeah, yeah. I know. It was crazy. I feel like yeah, I totally agree with you. I do think she craves chaos, and I think she sees fighting with each other as fighting for each other in a way. Um, I think we did see a little bit of introspection from her at some points where she was like, I do think I haven't been seeing his point of view, and I feel bad that I yelled at him so much, and I'm gonna try not to do that as much. Like there were signs of her being self-aware of her role in this. Um, but yeah, so tiring, so tiring.
Yeah. Um, okay, predictions on Haley and Blake.
I don't think they're gonna get engaged, and I think he's actually gonna break up with her.
I
I
think
think
so
that's
too.
what, right? Like, that's kinda what the preview looked like when he was like, "I'm finding it hard to even say this." Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they break up,
Yeah.
but maybe at the reunion they'll be back together again. We'll see.
No, please. Please, no.
It's possible.
No.
Anything's possible in the world of reality television where you can construct any narrative you want. Okay, lastly, we have Ashley and Killian. Their core conflict, let me take a stab. Their core conflict is that Killian is actively fighting with Ashley's parents because he asked for Ashley's hand in marriage from Ashley's dad, and Ashley's dad gave it to him, but then like took it back because Killian disrespected Ashley was the implication, but we never really know what exactly happened. There was some situation where Ashley's dad just was like, "You're not ready. I'm taking it back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Um, I feel like Killian was a different person with his trial marriage with Haley, like before and after the group chat fight. I think before he also said some problematic things. He said something like, um, if this were a first date, we would have kissed by now. And then I was like, this is a trial marriage? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. He said some wild things.
Yeah, and then he also had another comment, which I would like to discuss, where he said that um, he feels like if the woman drives and he's sitting in the front seat, he doesn't like that feeling of being a passenger princess because he feels that's really effeminate.
That was so interesting to me. I thought he was gonna say something worse. So then when he did explain, I was like, oh, that's it. That's funny. But I thought he was gonna say because I don't think girls can drive as well.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was maybe where he was going to,
Yeah,
but
but then when he was like, oh, it just like makes me feel a little emasculated or whatever, I was like, what? So I just thought that was funny. But yeah,
still a
that was
little low-key
for sure,
misogynistic.
for sure, for sure. That was just a brief glimpse into how he feels about women, which we got
Yes.
a much better glimpse of through the trial marriage.
Yes.
Just it was so crazy to me when he was like, "Oh, like I just I didn't think girls thought like that. Like, why would I ever say this to a girl?" Versus like, why would you
Yeah.
ever say that ever?
He just talks about girls like they are different
Different species.
species
Yeah,
entirely. Yeah, I'm like, what?
literally.
Have you met a girl?
Yeah, no, like actually no. This is a man that has no female friends, clearly. He and Jebin should start a club.
Oh my God. I feel like Killian, I don't know if this is the worst, or I don't know if this is a good way to phrase it, but it feels like he is like microdosing misogyny. You know,
That is the perfect way to put it.
like he seems like he's fine, but then he makes like one or two comments where you're like, haha, wait,
Huh?
what? And
Yeah.
then I think even after he says that thing about like the eggs killed by Biden, I think David makes a face like, wait, what?
What this guy just say?
But then you're right, you have no choice but to like glide past it. So that's kind of what feels like, wait, there's something to unpack here, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Imagine if Jessica Grace was in a relationship with him in a
I
trial
would
marriage.
pay to see that.
Same. I want to see her eat him up.
How do you feel about this practice of asking the dad for the daughter's hand in marriage?
I think it makes sense to ask the parents or like at least tell the parents, have a conversation with the parents about your intentions. I don't know why it has to be the dad and not the mom, but I think it's a nice gesture to talk to the parents about it before you do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Yeah.
think
It's
it
just like
makes
we don't
sense to
need to
ask the
bring gender
parents.
into it. Yeah.
Doesn't need to be the dad. I don't, it's not like the dad has all the paperwork that required to like lease the bride's
Yeah.
hand.
Correct. You don't need to negotiate dowry terms with the dad.
Right. Yeah. 2 goats, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like, it's good to give your parents an FYI, but
Yeah.
doesn't have to be the dad.
No.
Yeah. It's just a nice thing to do, even then. Not required.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Glad we're on the same page. Okay. I feel like we all talked mostly about Ashley and Killian. I guess one thing about Ashley is that I did feel it felt like she was copying this like therapist speak terminology about like manipulation and everything and just like turning it against Blake. Um there was that conversation between Blake and Ashley, I think like the day before their trial marriages were supposed to end, where Blake is like, "Oh yeah, well, I like felt this way when you were saying these things about me." And then Ashley was like, "I was going to say all these nice things about you, but now I don't want to say that." I feel like Blake's execution could have been better. Blake's delivery of his
Yeah.
line could have been better. I understand where he was coming from, but yeah, it's like that's not the time or the place to say that kind of thing, my guy.
Yeah. Okay, going back a little bit further, I thought it was really interesting. I think Blake hit the nail on the head where he was like, I feel like I showed Ashley that it's worth sticking up for herself in general in life, and unfortunately I am now the object of her sticking up for herself, and like I'm the one she is fighting with. So that sucks. But
Yeah, but you can't like either she sticks up for herself or she doesn't. I actually like that she was sticking up for herself and like
I mean,
practicing her defense muscle.
I liked it too, but I thought a lot of it was unfair against Blake, actually. And so it felt bad. It felt sad because, like, he gets that from Haley, and then he just kind of started turning Ashley into another Haley, kind of.
Yeah.
And so I kind of felt bad for him, but I feel like she was getting the wrong lesson, which is like, she, I feel like the lesson she should get is that, like, when someone's taking advantage of her niceness, she needs to stick up for herself, versus I feel like the lesson she got was like, if someone disagrees with her, she needs to, like,
Immediately
yeah,
glove up.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And like, it's just made her so combative. And so I don't know. I don't know. I think none of these four people are mature enough to get married.
Yeah. I agree. I do think I'm glad that she was able to stick up for herself, but I think she just kind of unilaterally applied it
Exactly.
instead of thinking critically about when someone is making a good point because of something I did wrong versus just like, I'm never going to do anything wrong, so it must be you. So I'm going to
Yeah.
stick up for myself.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when people around you are being selfish, the lesson shouldn't be, "Oh, I should also be selfish." It should be, "Wow, I need to be much more selective about who I'm selfless to." You know, but
Mm.
she was just like, "It's my time to be selfish."
Mm. Yeah, she
Yeah.
swung a little bit too much in the opposite direction.
Yes. Yes. And like,
Yeah.
maybe that's how it goes. Maybe she just, it's a dampening sine curve, if you will. Um, but yeah, she has work to do.
But what I did notice is that when she went back to killing, it didn't feel like she was that combative. I think there was one time that she was combative with Killian where he was like, I'm gonna apologize for all these things. I'm sorry you feel that way. And then she was like, nope, try it again. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's good. That's where you should press him on. Um,
Well, I think that one was tough too, because I also saw his perspective where he was like, it's already hard for me to be vulnerable and have conversations like this, and if you're going to harp on me for the tone in which I'm delivering my message, like, that's not helping. So
yeah.
I totally agreed with him in that
I
situation.
I see that. I mean, I think he did come in with good intentions, and I saw that, and it just like went off the rails. But I think when he did the take two and he came back and he was like, okay, I'm gonna really try this time. And I'm really gonna make sure that I'm delivering it with the authenticity with which I wrote it. Then I think it came across and landed well. But I think there is a little bit fault on both sides. I do think she kind
Yeah.
of, like I don't want to say nitpick, but she definitely like latched on to
Yeah.
some of the casualness with which he was delivering this apology. And he was
Totally.
having the casualness because it did not come naturally to him to apologize this way. So he was really trying, but then he was like, I don't want to try too hard because I'm a man. And then like gave this like casualness, and then she was like, no.
Yeah, I think she's just like dying on the wrong hills at this point. It's like, girl, take the win. Like, he is apologizing. I mean, I guess it did result in something good, which is that he
Yeah.
came back with a different energy. But I was like, oh my God, you're not gonna make any progress if you're complaining about how he's saying something the first time he's actually apologizing. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there are merits to both. I think
Yeah.
yeah, I it's never a good thing if someone's like trying their best to do something that doesn't come naturally to them and you're just like, "Nope, that's wrong." But at the
Yeah.
same
Which I
time,
think is also what Haley does to Blake.
yeah, that's true, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes maybe we're just like judging the women too harshly
I mean,
sometimes.
I am definitely judging all of them, like, for sure. I think Killian should not be with a woman. Like, no woman, he does not deserve to date a woman. To be clear,
Yeah.
I really dislike Killian and I like Ashley, but
Yeah, we want Ashley to do better, but given up hope with Killian.
Yes, like, he's not even worth, I
But
don't, yeah.
yeah, I guess like this is my point, is that like I feel like we judge the women too harshly because we like want them to do better and we expect the best of them, and we have no expectations for men at all. So we don't push them and we don't like force them to do better, which I think is an error as
That is
well.
true. That is true. That you're so right. I was actually I saw this thing, and by that I mean it was a reel on Instagram about
Nice.
how there was a study done and they showed the same apartment to different groups of people and told one group that it was a woman's apartment and one group that it's a man's apartment, and everybody called the woman's apartment messier than the group that thought it was a man's apartment. And so they were just judging the woman on, like, they had such high expectations for how she keeps the home and such low expectations for the man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Women should have messy houses too.
Yeah. My house is messy right now. Don't look too closely behind me.
And you know what, sweetie? I love that for you.
Thank you.
Okay, predictions for Ashley and Killian.
This one's so hard. I don't think he's gonna propose. Yeah.
I think he will.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a game time decision, but I think he will.
Okay. And you think she's gonna say yes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Okay, I have a couple last questions about the overall show. Which of these couples do you think embodied the actual intention of the show the most? So, like, they really took advantage of the trial marriage period and they brought all of those learnings into their trial marriage period with their original partner.
Absolutely Monica and Luke. Absolutely.
I would say David specifically, of Casey and David. I wouldn't say the couple. If I had to say a couple, I would say Monica and Luke. If I had to say an individual, I would say David.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I think actually my third question, or okay, my second question: which of these couples were the biggest red flags?
I think you know what I'm gonna say. Oh, are we including Alex and Jevin?
No.
No. Okay.
We can include them, sure. Well, actually, why
Okay.
not?
Well, yeah. Then in that case, them and immature pod, all four of them in the immature pod.
Okay, let me change the question. Rank all of the couples from biggest red flags to green flags.
Okay. Biggest red flag. It's hard.
Number one,
okay, I think
Alex and Jevin.
yes, number one is Alex and Jevin. Number two is a little bit harder because I think Blake and Haley have a more dysfunctional relationship, but Ashley and Killian have a more dangerous power imbalance relationship. So I don't know which one's worse. Like, they fight less, but it's because Ashley is, I don't know. Or wait, what am I trying to say? They fight less, but it's because Killian just kind of steamrolls her.
Yeah.
Okay. So very close 2 and 3. Then I think, okay, I'm not even counting Jessica, Grace, and Idris because we didn't really see their relationship very much. Then I would say Casey and David, and then greenest flag is Monica and Luke.
Yeah, that's a good ranking. 100% agree. And then my last question, what is a format of this show that would actually make more sense for people who are on the verge of marriage but may have reservations?
Oh, to be honest, I kind of like the premise.
Yeah, I guess the other solution would be just like couples going to couples counseling or couples therapy or something.
Yeah. And like having a deadline on when to make the decision, or maybe just living apart for a while.
Yeah.
Or something.
All healthy things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
Should we rate the overall
Let's rate.
season?
I would say quality 2 out of 5. This was messy ass reality TV. Enjoyment 5 out of 5.
Whoa, 5 out of
Yeah.
5.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Can't deny it.
I'm gonna say quality 3 out of 5. Enjoyment 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there were
6.5 average. That's good.
yeah. There were moments where it picked up and I was like, "Well, can't wait to see what happens." But I think in general, I don't think there was anyone I was really rooting for per se.
Mm.
Like if Monica and Luke don't get engaged or like don't get married, I would be like, dang, that sucks. But I wouldn't be like, I'm devastated.
No. Yeah. Yeah, fair. It's so funny because I'm always the one that never wants to watch reality TV shows, and then I always rate them like a 4 or 5 on enjoyment.
And I'm always the one who wants to watch it, and then at the end I'm like, it was a 3. Oh man. I think I'm just more into the Korean dating reality shows now. That one I'm very excited to watch. Oh, this is a great segue to our binge in progress segment.
Yes.
This is the part of our podcast where we talk about the shows that we're watching outside of the reality shows, or sorry, no, outside of the show that we just covered. So I am currently watching Better Late Than Single, which is a dating reality show. And the premise of the show is that there's this concept of eternal singles in Korea. So there are people who've just like never ever dated anyone before. Like maybe they have gone on dates, but they haven't like ever called anyone boyfriend or girlfriend. And so they take a bunch of these eternal singles, they give them some coaching, some of them get makeovers, and then they all go on this retreat together for like, I think it's about a week. They all go to like Jeju or something and they all hang out and like date each other. And it's very cute. It feels like a lot of the guys are, I would say, similar to Blake in this regard, where wait, no, either Blake or I was gonna say Jevin, but that's not right. Yeah, I would say they're like closer to Blake, where they're like most of the guys are like kind of like unemotional or they just like don't know how to interact with women at all. And I think Korea does have a lot of all girls schools and all boys schools. So a lot of them like really do think the opposite sex is like a different species. And so they are trying to like date each other and it's like really, really cute and wholesome because they will often just say the wrong things and you're just like, bro, why? Why are you saying that? It's because they don't know any better. But yeah, I've been very hooked on it. I think it came out a week or 2 ago. There's 6 episodes and it's like an hour and a half long each episode. And it's awesome.
Damn.
There is like one guy on this show that was actually really, really sweet. His name is Jaso, and he is a video game developer. He like works on PUBG Battlegrounds. And he's really, really sweet. And he was like, in his interview for the program, Better Late Than Single, he was like, the reason that I wanted to join this program is that whenever I would go on dates and then I would get rejected, it was always a different reason for getting rejected. Some people would be like, "Oh, it's just your vibe is wrong," or like some people would be like, because he had like a scruffy beard at the time. He was like, "Oh, you don't like dress right," or like, "Oh, you spend too much energy working," or "Your beard is like." It's like your looks are not my type or like something. It's always like something, but they're all different things. And so he was like, I really want to go on this program to understand what exactly it is. And so for during his makeover session, he like he loses his beard, he gets like a new haircut, he like gets makeup and everything that he tries on, but he still like goes into this retreat and nobody picks him for his top 1 or their top 2. So he's like the only one not going on any dates and everyone else is going on dates around him and he's just like crying and really upset because he's like, I changed all these things about myself that people said was wrong and I'm still not getting chosen. And his words were, so that must mean that there is an error in the control variables. Like it's an issue with me, but no one ever tells me what it is. Like everyone says that I'm doing so successful. Like, I have a great job, I have a great life. He went to KAIST, which is like Korea's MIT, so he's really smart. And he's like got all these things going for him. And everyone tells me that I have all these things going for me, but no one actually tells me what's wrong and like why I can't date, because everyone around me who's also has like similar jobs, who also went to KAIST, like they all are getting married and having kids. So like, what's wrong with me? And he's just like crying when he's talking about this. And I'm like, Jesus. But anyway, it's like these
What
kinds
do
of
you think
emotional
is wrong?
moments.
Do you think anything's wrong?
My theory is that, well, I don't know what like Korean culture truly is. So my theory is that he is just going for a vibe that's not actually his vibe, and he's still feeling a little bit uncomfortable around certain people, and he's not like genuinely being himself. And I think he does have this, I think he maybe doesn't take empathy too seriously. I think he normally says things in a way that's like delivering information, but not really thinking about how that person is going to take information. So I think he needs to just think about the other person a little bit more and like be a little bit kinder.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I think like this is the whole like, I love these wholesome stories about people like understanding themselves more, and I wish American reality shows had more of that. But it's less about introspection, it's more about like fucking someone, you know what I mean?
It's like Great British Bake Off versus Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I talked a lot about Better Late Than Single.
All good, all good.
I also saw Obsession. So Yappers,
yes.
if you want Shalini and I to do a bonus episode about Obsession, because I feel like there is a lot to yap about.
It
let
is
us
also
know.
streaming on Peacock now for free.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
good to
so
know.
I might rewatch it if we do an
Okay.
episode on it. Yeah.
That's good to know.
So much to talk about. Okay, but anyway, I guess I can say I started watching / rewatching Shrill, which I know you also watched.
I did.
So I think I'm at the beginning of season 2 now.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good. I would say I like it. I don't love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it was a good background show
Yeah.
thing where I was like, I like having it on and I like loosely following the plot, which doesn't really require in-depth watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it was anything groundbreaking for me. But yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah. It's kind of giving a Lena Dunham show, but I don't think she worked on it.
Yeah, it kind of does give that.
No. Okay. Yeah.
I think maybe
Cool.
their vibes are just similar. A.D. Bryant and
Yeah.
Lena Dunham. I think A.D.
Maybe.
Bryant, I don't know if I'm going to cancel for this, but I feel like A.D. Bryant is a little more palatable than Lena Dunham, personally.
Yeah. No, I think that's fine to say.
Okay.
Lena Dunham, actually, if we want to do a little pop culture segment, her new book is creating some waves in the pop culture industry. People theorize that had something to do with Jack Antonoff and Margaret Qualley's divorce.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so Lena Dunham used to date Jack Antonoff.
Yeah.
And when they lived together... Okay, Yappers, if you know this lore better than I do, please let me know if I've said anything wrong. But so Lena and Jack used to live together, and they hosted Lorde when she was a teenager before she made her first album or something. And she was like 18, 19 at the time. But Lena came home one night and Jack was like comforting Lorde as she cried, and she was like in his lap, and it was kind of weird. And then you know that show we watched,
Too Much?
Yeah, Too Much. Apparently that was kind of about her breakup with Jack Antonoff and how he started dating Lorde.
Oh, Jack Antonoff dated Lorde?
Yes, he dated Lorde as he was producing her album, which is so icky. And people, like, I think Greenlight, her song Greenlight, is about Jack Antonoff.
Oh, wait.
Great song. Icky backstory.
There's Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
they're
guess they're
very.
not that far apart, but they're still 13 years apart.
Yeah, no, it's a big difference considering she was like 21 or something when they started dating. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe even younger. I don't know. But anyway, then his marriage to Margaret Qualley, he was also like, I think 11 years older than her.
Yeah, she's young too. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
she's 31. So, yeah, 11 years apart.
yeah.
They're still married? No. Oh, they
They like
separated.
just announced
They
their
just announced
separation.
it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it was coincidentally very soon after Lena Dunham's book dropped. And so people think that it had something to do with it.
Oh, wow, that's tea.
Yeah, it's crazy tea. So I feel like Lena Dunham, I feel like she was kind of shunned by society for a while, but she's kind of back. People kind of love her again.
Wow.
Crazy.
Margaret
Um,
Qualley, did you know that she is the daughter of Andy McDowell?
I did know that. They're both in Maid.
Yes. And Andy McDowell lives in Asheville, North Carolina.
So random.
Neighbors to Andrew's parents.
And Anne's parents? Are they also in Asheville?
No, Nico's grandma is
Okay.
in, I can't remember, Henderson. It's like the Henderson of Asheville.
Henderson.
Kensington? Oh my God, I can't remember.
Oh,
Just
no.
cut all this out, Jesus.
Oh my God. Sorry, last thing. We're hiring someone named Remington, and my dad keeps calling him Montgomery.
That's so funny to me. I get it,
Right?
but I also don't get it.
Like, there's a G, there's a T,
Yeah.
there's an N.
There's an R, M, T, N. Put them all together, alphabet soup, Montgomery. All right, well, as always, thanks for yapping with us.
See you next time. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, see you next time. But also, we're going to be talking about the Ultimatum finale and reunion next Monday. And maybe we'll do an Obsession bonus episode. Why not?
Yeah.
If
Should
there's
we
time.
combine it? No, maybe not.
Those are two different things.
Okay, now that we're done talking about the Ultimatum finale, let's talk about
A
Obsession.
different kind of ultimatum.
Tell me you love me. Oh boy. All right. Well, we'll see you next time for the Ultimatum finale and reunion.
Thanks for yapping with us.
See you next time. Thanks for yapping with us. If you loved this episode, have some hot takes we missed, or if you've got a show you're dying for us to binge next, follow us on socials. We're at Binge Yap Repeat.
Until next time, happy binging!